Hi there, Becky here from 168 Fitness. Last week I was talking about setting some goals to achieve between now and the end of the year, and talking about how September is a really good time to get focused again now that you're hopefully getting back into routine. You've had your summer holidays, you've got a really nice period of time leading up to Christmas and party season to be focusing on yourself and on achieving some goals. The weather also, with temperatures dropping, not hopefully, but probably most likely soon, it's a good time as well if you're thinking about running. It's perhaps been too hot for you over the summer, so everything really just kind of slots back into place in September. So last week's homework was to set yourself some goals. Now they could be anything you want to achieve. When I get clients to think about goals, I want them to just think about the bigger picture, what they want to be able to do, or what clothes they want to be able to wear, how do they want to feel. If you want to set a weight loss goals, what number do you want the scales to say? Think about that, think about the end goal, and then you can always break it down into shorter term goals. So in sort of 3 or 4 months, you might not be able to lose sort of 5 stone weight loss, but you might be able to, and you could achieve sort of 1 to 2, maybe even 3 stone in that time, probably more like sort of 2 stone. So breaking it down into that smaller goal, and also thinking about if you want to be able to run a marathon next sort of springtime, you probably won't be able to get up to marathon distance before the end of the year, but that's okay. You need to just put the foundation work in to get you to that end goal next year, perhaps. Hopefully you've done that homework. Hopefully you have now got your goals that you want to get started on and achieving those from this week onwards. If you haven't, then I suggest you stop the video here and write some down. Even if those goals change or they develop as the time goes on, you just need something to get you motivated to start, and also so that you know what to do, because there's no point starting doing something that's not going to actually help you achieve that goal, or not doing enough to achieve that goal. So stop the video and set those goals if you haven't already. But if you've got your goals, then let's have a think about what you can be doing to achieve them. So some of this advice, if you watch my videos regularly, my advice doesn't change. It's not fashionable advice. It's not something that, oh, this week I want you to try this, but another time I'll tell you something completely different. My advice usually stays the same, and that's actually one of the things that I try and stress with clients, is that you just have to do what I say to do, because it won't change. The advice won't change. I won't give you different stuff to do to achieve the same goals. If your goal is weight loss, I'm going to give you the same sort of advice each and every time, because it doesn't change. It is not something that can change depending on the seasons. It can change according to it can be varied in terms of like your schedule, where you're at currently with your goals and your progress, but generally the advice is going to actually stay the same. So let's have a think about some goals. So if your goal is weight loss, that's one of the most common goals that clients tell me, weight loss. Now, if you actually care about what the scales say, that number on the scales, then weight loss goals are the goal for you. If you are saying weight loss, but actually you haven't weighed yourself in however many years, you're not bothered about what the scales say, and you're more thinking about, you want your clothes to feel more comfortable, you want to be able to fit in a certain dress come party season, or you just want to be able to look in the mirror and feel good about yourself, then that's a different goal. That's not actually weight, because you could be a variety of different weights and be the size or same size and shape and dress size and things like that. So think instead, if you're not bothered about what the scale will say, think instead of an item of clothing or a particular area of your body that perhaps was once a bit firmer, a bit flatter, and you want to get that back to where it was. Or find a picture that you look at and you think, I loved being that size or shape or that time of my life, and you want to get back to that if you're not where you are at the moment, where you want to be. So refine that goal a little bit. Make sure that it is exactly what you want it to be, that goal. Because if you say weight loss and then you don't actually weigh yourself, or you don't achieve that goal, but then actually you do achieve other goals, and you'll still feel like you've not really succeeded, because your actual goal you haven't succeeded with, but you've achieved other things instead. So get particular about what actually you want to achieve. Hopefully that makes sense. So if it is weight loss, set that weight loss goal, and I'll tell you how to achieve that shortly. If it's clothes sizes, then it's going to be similar sort of homework to achieve those, action points to achieve both of those things, but just make sure that goal is specific to actually what you want to achieve. And the more specific you can get, the better. Set that item of clothing that you want to get into, take the pictures now, set the event that you're going to wear that outfit to, or when you're going to feel the way that you want to feel, have that deadline date. Other goals we'll get to in a moment. So we'll talk about weight loss and losing inches, because it is going to be similar sort of advice, but there's just things that you can do slightly different. But I'm going to give you generic advice because I can't go through everyone's individual schedule. That's where personal training comes in, that I do give you that breakdown of what you need to be doing to suit your schedule and to suit your current level of ability, and also nutrition on top of that. So the two things you need to do for weight loss and or for inch loss, dropping dress sizes, etc. The two things you need to do: you need to move more and you need to eat a little bit less. A combination of both, definitely. Some people prefer to start dieting. Hate that word, really. It gets kind of misconstrued. But food and exercise, they are the two things that you need to be thinking about. So do some more exercise to what you have been doing, if anything. So moving more. If you're currently exercising, then you might just want to add 1 or 2 more sessions in, or you might want to add some extra walking or run a bit longer, etc. But the advice I'm going to give you, if you're just starting out, then looking at sort of 3 lots of 20 to 30 minutes a week would be a good amount to do. If you do 2 sessions, so sort of 40 minutes or an hour in total, great, that's still better than nothing. If you can do sort of 90 minutes in total, sort of 60 to 90 minutes in a week, in total for the week, over sort of 2 or 3 days, then that's great. That's a good place to start. And you'd want to just keep that up for the next sort of 3 to 4 weeks. Maybe you want to just keep that going for longer, but that's definitely a good place to start off with. And then in terms of food, this is where like everyone can do this, and regardless of your kind of goals, weight loss, or whether it's just feeling better about yourself, it's good to keep a check of what you're eating, and be consciously eating, trying to eat the right foods and making good choices. MyFitnessPal, I always say this, using that to monitor your food intake and your energy output through exercise, it's a really good resource to have. It's a free app, you just need to download. It's called MyFitnessPal. Free to use. You set yourself up on there, add in your weight and your sort of exercise energy level sort of at the moment, activity level, and then it will set you some goals that have already taken into account that you want to lose weight. I think you can put whether you want to maintain, lose or gain weight, and it will work out those calorie goals for you. Then if you exercise, you could add that in, and then it allows you to eat more, ups the goal for calorie goal for the day. You add all your food in. It's really easy to do that. You can even scan barcodes on packaged foods, and then it keeps a log of that for you. As long as you're honest with it and you're accurate as to the best of your knowledge, and as long as you stay within those calorie goals, at least for the whole week as a total. Sometimes I'll say to people, try and do it sort of 5 days minimum, of the 5 out of 7 days each week. But if you think of it as a whole, so like at the weekend, I'll be honest, I was over on both of my weekend days just because I was out for meals, I had some alcoholic drinks, and yes, I went over. But I knew that in the week I'd been under on a lot of days, and I still wasn't hungry on those days. It's just that when I'm running more I'm allowed to eat more, but I don't always want to eat up to the goals that it sets me. So as long as you are eating enough that you feel okay and you're not starving yourself and you're not restricting and feeling deprived, then you don't need to like eat as much. If it says to eat 2,300 calories and actually you're full, you're satisfied after 1,800, then bank those calories for another time and you probably will get to your weight loss goal a lot quicker. But it also, if it means that you've banked some calories, it means that if you do go out the weekend where perhaps you aren't so conscious of what you're eating, then you can afford to do that and you will still achieve your goals. So just to recap what I've said for weight loss goals, 2 things: moving more and eating a bit less, or at least eating consciously, thinking about what you're putting in your body, making sure you're drinking lots of water as well. Those are the 2 things you need to do to either lose weight, lose inches, potentially losing fat from the body as well, smaller dress sizes, etc. Those 2 things will help you get there. As long as you do those for this week, and also for the next sort of few weeks at least, you will lose weight. You will lose inches as well over a longer period of time. It just takes a little bit more time perhaps to notice that. But you will, you will become trimmer. If your goals, I've realised the video's going on for quite a long time, if your goals are more sort of fitness related, then you don't need to particularly be concerned with your diet, but the moving part definitely applies. So if you're currently not exercising and you want to get fitter, then you just need to get out there and do something. So whether it's walking as a basic sort of level, if it's running, if you just want to get straight in with that, if it's fitness classes, gym workouts, come join us for personal training, playing sports, cycling, any of those things. You can do whatever you fancy, but you've just got to start. You've just got to get out there. And then obviously, like I said, aiming for sort of 60 to 90 minutes for your first week in total for the whole week. So you can spread that out over 3 days, over 5 days, over 6 days, give yourself a rest day as well. Then that's great. And just doing a bit of something, and you'll be already feeling better, hopefully, after that first session. You might be a bit achy afterwards, but hopefully you'll be feeling good because you'll have the endorphins, the happy hormones afterwards. And then you'll want to get back on and do another session as soon as those aches have gone away. And then you've just got to keep that up for the next few weeks to see a difference. And then obviously aiming to keep it going for the next sort of 3 or 4 months up till Christmas as well. If your goals are energy related, health related, then both of those things are going to apply as well. So sort of exercising, activity, and then looking after yourself in terms of what you put into your body as well, food. But it's more when it's sort of energy and health related, calories become less important. But if health related means perhaps you're overweight at the moment and you know that you'd benefit from losing some weight, then you are going to need to look at calories. But if it's more sort of just needing some more nutrients and choosing healthier options, then there's definitely some work. That's a little bit more complicated. There's definitely more work that I can, more advice I can give you and work we can do on that. But it does get a little bit more complicated. But I've talked about this before, thinking about sort of natural, nutritious foods, bright colours that are naturally coloured, not artificial colours. Think about lots of salad, vegetables, fruit as well, natural fruit rather than sort of sweets and chocolate and biscuits for your sugar. Think about natural sugars, and think about higher protein to keep you fuller, natural carbohydrates as well. Just the food that you know is good for you. We all know kind of what's good for us, and it's usually stuff that's not manufactured, not processed, and it comes from the ground or is on the earth, so as it is. So yeah, I think I've kind of covered enough information this week. A bit of a long video, but hopefully you get some good content from it. If you've got any specific questions, please do get in touch. I'll be sending out an email as well with a bit of an offer on about personal training, so perhaps you will be interested in that. I would love to work with you and I'd love to help you be successful between now and the end of 2018. And yeah, if not, then I'll speak to you next week with some more top tips.